And moving on to another act that might be horrific for some people is taxes. But we're talking to Beth Anne Smith about what do you do if you forgot to file your taxes. And Beth Anne is going to tell us. She's from the United Way of the Greater Capital Region. We're going to find out about what to do. And so tell us what to do.
All right. Well, the first thing we'd like to talk about is the top 8 tips for avoiding issues with your taxes in case you're still trying to think about filing them. Double check your Social Security numbers. And
if you put the wrong one in, you got trouble.
That's right. There was one year I actually transposed one of my children's and it rejected. Not good.
Really?
So you want to make sure you get the right Social Security numbers in there and that the names are spelled correctly.
Okay.
Make sure that your filing status is correct. If you're married, even if you're not living with that person, the federal government considers you married.
Yeah.
So you have a choice: married filing separate or married filing jointly. Those are your only 2 choices, really.
Of course, if you're not on speaking terms, it's a little tough to do.
It is very tough. Yes, it is. It is. Definitely.
I'm glad they have that other category.
Right. If you're doing your own taxes, make sure you double check your addition and your subtraction because the math errors can be an issue. Also, errors in figuring the credits and deductions. You need to make sure you're looking in the right columns with those books. There's a lot of columns and a lot of numbers trying to figure out what you've got. Your bank information and for your direct deposit, you want to make sure that you double check those numbers as well. As you can tell, it's all about the numbers.
The numbers, let's see.
Right, and you need to sign your return, date your return, and with the electronic signature, you're either putting in last year's adjusted gross income, which is what AGI stands for, or your PIN from last year. So that's where those issues come in. If you have not filed for your taxes for this year yet, and you made less than $51,000, we are doing a follow-up day at Catholic Charities.
I saw that, yeah.
Yes, Monday, April 29th. And that's from 3 to 7 p.m. and it's by appointment only, so please dial 211 to make that appointment.
And there's a misconception that if you you can't get your taxes done, that you'll just wait and get them done when you can. You really have to file or do something right on that date.
You're supposed, by April 15th, you either are supposed to file an extension or have filed your taxes, because April 15th, one of the slides states that
they're showing the slides now. Yeah.
That you have to file this extension by April 15th, and it's not an extension to pay though. So if you owe money, you still owe that money.
How do I know how much if I haven't? I didn't do my taxes. I don't know how much I owe.
Believe it or not, I think most people have a good idea as to whether or not they're going to owe.
And they don't have the money, so
they don't have the money, so they're like, I'm just going to put this off. You basically, just file anyway. The IRS will wait for their money. They won't wait happily, but they will wait.
Could you make like a down payment?
Yes, you can. Actually, we counsel people that if you owe money, try and send as much as you possibly can by April 15th, because it'll take, let's see, there'll be less interest to pay.
Okay. Oh, because you have to pay interest.
You have to pay interest, right? But if you don't file and you owe money,
you got fines?
You get a fine, because now you have a late filing penalty as well. So that's an issue.
So if someone's watching right now and they thought they could just wait and do it when they got to it, sort of like turning in a term paper a week late. This doesn't really work so well, does it?
No. We have here in the United States what's known as a voluntary tax system, which means that you voluntarily file. So you need to tell the IRS.
Wait a second, voluntary.
Yeah, well, okay. So the IRS says that you get to tell the IRS, the government, just how much money you made and how much money you paid in. And if you paid in more than what you owe, you get a refund.
Yeah.
The voluntary part of it is that part, filing your tax return. If you don't file your tax return, the IRS will assume in about a year and a half that you are single, and they're going to tax you on that rate. So that's why you get some of these letters. And there's another slide there that says that, what should I do if I'm given a letter by the IRS? The first thing is take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Don't buy your ticket to Acapulco.
Right. It's okay. It's all right. The IRS is just telling you that the information that they've got is not working with what you've sent in, or you haven't sent in any information. It's more than okay to call them, talk to them calmly. They're not going to come and get you right away, or they're, well, if it's a couple years down the line, they might be. But for the individuals that we work with, it's not a huge deal. The IRS
I was audited. Let me tell you about my experience with being audited. I was audited. Of course, the sweat broke out, and I got all my papers, and it's like, okay, I'm going. Had to go to Albany, and I went there with my box of papers and all my information. And I ended up, they said, you paid too much tax, so I got another refund.
See, there you go. See, so it's okay.
They
the
said,
first
yeah,
thing
you
is,
made a mistake here,
right.
and you could have deducted this, and I'm going, oh, really?
Right. So that's what,
Yeah, so don't worry about it. And,
right.
and I must say that they were very polite, very nice, and it was, and they're just people like us.
They are.
I mean, they get up in the morning and they have their coffee and they go to work.
That's right.
Hopefully they've had a good breakfast.
Right.
Right.
So let's see here. I'm trying to think of what else I had to tell you about the tax stuff.
And all the
You
slides
showed
have
all
been
the slides. Oh,
yeah,
thank
we're
you.
good.
All right. So if you do have a tax liability, you can either withdraw it from your bank account. You can do it through a credit card, or you can set up a payment plan with the IRS. However, that's going to cost you $150 to set up that payment plan. So just be aware of that.
Everything costs money, darn.
Of course.
Especially when you're in trouble, you got it.
Right. So if you do have a tax liability that you weren't expecting this year, make sure that next year you're taking care of it. You want to avoid your underpayments, so you want to look at your W-4 and make sure that that's the correct filing status. Actually worked with someone yesterday, was actually married filing separate, but had filed her W-4 saying that she was married and had withheld too little.
Oh, okay.
So she had a bill because of that. Let's see, you could also make quarterly estimated tax payments, sending in money to the IRS. And you can also request that withholding from your unemployment. I know that hurts because if you're unemployed, there's just not a lot of money.
Not money.
But
So you have to pay taxes on your unemployment?
You have to pay taxes on your unemployment. But if you don't see the money to begin with, it's a little bit easier to know that you're holding it.
Yeah.
So
of course, you might get that back if you're
Right.
you're really in dire straits.
And then when you change jobs, make sure you roll over your 401k so that you don't take that as a distribution.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. So there are still sites open. It's basically by appointment only now.
Okay. And then if you dial 211, right?
Dial 211, they'll have that information, or the IRS at 888-906-9887.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay.
So you won't get yourself in any trouble if you just kind of follow the yellow brick road to paying your taxes,
Yes.
right? And get that done. Beth Anne Smith.
And don't panic.
Don't panic. She's always giving us such great advice as far as our taxes go. And I'm so pleased to have you on the show again and kind of allay the fears of people who might get a letter from the IRS or haven't filed your taxes. But you better get on the stick and do something, right?
Right, yes.
Get it done, yeah. Anything else you want to
the last thing is that we do have a local IRS Taxpayer Assistance Center down at the Federal Building at 1 Clinton Ave. And they're open, let's see here, Tuesday through Thursday, first come, first serve. I don't have the hours, but they'll help you file your federal taxes only, not your state.
Okay, because that's the federal building.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to help you with your state. Let somebody else do that, right?
Yes.
So, Beth Anne Smith, we're very pleased to have her on. She's from United Way of the Greater Capital Region. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next year. So,